There was don't laugh at me. There was one day where my teachers got together and they were like, "Do you want to be in the special needs class?" I was like, "No." They're like, "Why don't you try it out for recess?" And I went, and it was like, it was like I sat in a room and like looked out the window while people were playing in recess. And I was like in there with like blocks. I'm like, dude, I don't think this is for me.
Well, we skipped another week.
Yeah, yeah, we both got very busy. Just couldn't make it work. That's okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm never gonna I'm never gonna say let's just stop doing the podcast. I'm having fun.
Oh no, for sure.
And-
I was mostly saying that because like, I felt like it was a bummer. Like we felt like we had momentum a bit with this podcast,
Mhm.
and then for me definitely I have not been able to get back on track
That's okay,
with like a regular rhythm.
and that's okay. And I think that no matter what, it's okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
You know what? I like that sentence.
yeah,
I really do like
so that's
that.
acceptance. It doesn't. If we stop doing it, that's okay. I don't want that.
No, I want to keep doing it.
Exactly. If we do it sporadically, that's better than not doing it, right?
That's true.
If we get back on track, that's the best.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Hey, I have something specifically to cheers for
Oh, yeah?
myself. This is for myself. I think I told you about this, but I had that nose cancer a couple years ago.
Yes.
Well, I just had my 4th cancer screening. No more signs of cancer.
No
Even
more.
though it was like not a big deal cancer, the fact that I had gotten it so young and on my nose, the doctor said I was in high risk. And
So the no cancer,
yeah,
no nose cancer.
so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, man. Congrats. That's awesome.
Cool to not have cancer.
Less worry is
Yeah.
always better. Oh, doing a little breath work. How you doing?
I'm all right. I was really busy last week, which is why we couldn't do the episode.
I was too, so it's not your
Um,
fault. I've been working fucking insane hours as well.
Yeah.
I should talk about that this time. I got a job. I didn't talk about it last time.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. I asked you how you're doing. I just did that, so I remembered.
Okay. Other than that, I've been doing fine. You know, fine.
Fine.
Just fine. That's about it.
Yeah, we haven't been hanging out outside of work. I mean, outside of the pod. This is work, I guess. Outside of the podcast.
Yeah.
I miss hanging out and doing board games. I mean, that kind of brings up a question I had for you.
Okay.
And is something being being unemployed for 5 months, gave me some more free time, which was really nice. And now that I'm working, especially in a job that, man, at my last job I worked hard, but this one I'm like 9 hours a day. I'm focused on my job. I cannot step away.
That's tough.
I have to do my work. I have like a list that's ever growing and never shrinking. And I look at my morning, I'm like, okay, well, I get up really early so I can go to the gym. Then I come back and then I make breakfast. I take care of kitties, whatever they need. I take a shower. I look at my chores and see if there's anything I can get done in the morning. And then I have about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to relax and wind up for the day. Have my coffee, maybe look at news, play video game, whatever. And then I'm done at 7 p.m. Around 7 p.m. I make dinner, hang out with Grace. We can watch basically an episode of a show. By the time dinner's done, we get an episode of a show, maybe half of a movie done. And then it's like 9 p.m. and I got to go to fucking bed.
Man. That sucks. I mean, but are you happy you have a rhythm like that?
I love rhythm. So
Okay.
in a way, yes. In some ways, like you have to accepting I'm not going to play all the games I want to play during the week. I'm just
Yeah.
going to have to find time on the weekend. And then even the weekend, I'm like, I got to do all these things.
Right.
So how do you find time?
Well, right now I find time by um not writing. I because it is so easy to not do something so nebulous as write a book. It Any excuse becomes an instant like, oh yeah, I should do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I should go grocery shop. Oh, I need to get all these chores done. I might as well do that now. So then I won't have to do it later. And then just I mean, then I'm getting chores done, but then after I do chores, I'm like, oh, I should try to go work out. Then I have to work out like I'm tired. I don't want to write now. And it's just an endless that's just a never ending cycle. So that's how I find time by not doing the thing that I'm really need to be doing.
Are you enjoying the stuff that you're doing other than writing?
No.
No. You don't enjoy games?
No, yeah, I guess I enjoy playing games, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
Yeah, but, the whole time I'm playing games, I'm like, I shouldn't be playing this. I should be writing right now. So it's not like I can't, like, really relax into it,
Hmm.
other than on weekends because then I have, like, a carte blanche, like, "Oh, it's the weekend.
Right.
I should totally relax on the weekend."
Totally.
You know, I'll get into the groove Monday, but for now, it's the weekend,
Right.
and then repeat that process ad infinitum. So that's where I'm being a little like
I feel I feel a
meh.
lot I feel a lot of self-judgment coming from you on that. And I know that like you can logically break down why you're right to feel a certain way, but I don't want you to like beat yourself up for doing or not doing something.
Well, I kind of have to. I mean, I quit my job to do this, and if I'm not doing it, then I need to go get a job. It's like I can't have it both ways, right? So there has to be like some amount of self
I'm not
judgment.
going to say that you're wrong,
Yeah,
but
it's just
like you have to look at like what which one of those feelings is like a helpful feeling and which one of those is just like I'm mad at myself for playing video games right now. What's that helping? If you're not going to stop playing video games, then it's ultimately helping nothing, and you're not letting yourself enjoy the one thing that you like right now.
true. No, absolutely. Um, yeah, I mean, I talked to Leslie about this when my contract is finally over. Um, I'm basically giving myself 3 months. I have 3 months. If I don't have a first draft of the book done, then it's not something I can do, and I need to go get a job and find a way to be happier working a job than I was previously. And then I can still write on the side, but like that's my like do or die.
Do you want an accountability buddy?
Maybe I have another friend who offered to do that for me as well,
Okay.
and
I
I
think you
was
should
like,
take someone up
I
on it.
was like, that's a great idea, and then I never brought it up again
Okay. Well,
because I really don't.
I will bother you about it many times, um, just to
Yeah,
try to help a friend. And um, sometimes you just need like the smallest hand, dude.
I know.
And I'm gonna keep extending it. Take it, little bitch.
I appreciate that.
No, but I mean it.
Yeah, no, no, no. No, I hear you. Why are you looking at me like this?
Okay.
What?
We'll talk about this. We'll talk. When does your contract end?
It was
Theoretically.
it was supposed to be the end of this month. They pushed it back one more month. So theoretically the end of October.
Okay.
I just spilled water on
We also don't
myself.
have to wait until then to be an accountability buddy. So I'm gonna bother you. Bother Hudson. Accountability. Got it. It's on my to-do list. I'll put it on my daily to-do, and I'll talk to you about this daily.
Okay.
Just about helping you be accountable, and then we'll get into the real accountableness.
Okay.
And I need it too. I need accountability buddy for my own problems.
Okay. Well, what are your problems?
I'm working a lot on my. It's a lot. I'm working on a lot right now. I'm working on executive function / ADHD issues,
Hmm.
and for that, I'm still trying to figure out what my homework is. But I need to keep myself on track with my lists, which are the most helpful thing right now. I've started making like a daily to-do list on in my job and in my home life, and then I've made like a to-do for therapy. So that's important right now. And then just going to the gym 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and then uh, Sunday through Friday eating healthily. Not even healthfully, just consistently, which is mostly healthy.
Hmm.
And so that's helping me lose weight. So I'm trying to lose my weight right now, and I'm trying to get myself in a better rhythm just to get help and like follow through with the help I'm getting. Because I'm seeing like 3 different therapists right now.
I mean, good for you.
Because I need it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need it. That's you don't have to have it, but I would like to have it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't consider therapy a nice to have for a lot of people.
It's not a nice to have, but I personally for my own goals I do need it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah,
That's what I was saying. I mean, I'm saying like I think a lot of
but
people do need therapy.
but I'm saying like some people can have goals that don't align with that, and they don't necessarily need it.
Yeah, maybe.
I think there's possibilities.
Um, yeah, no, I miss being in therapy. The insurance I have with my contract is too shitty for any therapy. Um, so like the psychiatrist, I pay full price for. It's like $300 a session.
Do you do the 15-minute one? You should probably just do
No,
that.
it's 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was on the same thing. He's like, "Well, it's just 15 minutes. It's only $200." I'm like, "Fucking so cool."
Yeah, yeah, I mean, psychiatrists are very expensive.
So expensive. It
The,
makes me be like, God damn it, I should have done better with my life.
to not need psychiatry or to be a psychiatrist,
$600 an hour, be a psychiatrist.
dude. Can you? I could never listen to people's problems all day and their inability to change them, even though you're giving them the correct advice to change it.
I feel
That sounds unbelievably difficult.
I had a revelation recently, and it's something I need to follow through with. And I'm giving myself the excuse of I don't have time right now. But I was watching Down for Love, which is a show about
Hmm.
Down syndrome people dating.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, I extremely want to be a person that works with people with Down syndrome or just people with special needs overall.
Huh.
Yeah, like I had this like it was like a light switch moment, and I think I'm gonna start maybe just volunteering somewhere where I can find that because I'm not gonna go become a doctor, um, but
Sure.
if there's a way I can help those people, I think that sounds dope. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, I, I don't
And
know.
just watching the show triggered that, huh?
Well, I mean, I've kind of, in elementary school and middle school, you have, um, there are special needs kids that are integrated into your classrooms, and
Hmm.
you form relationships with them, and you care about them, and you have sympathy or empathy for them, and I don't know. I've kind of always had those feelings.
That's cool, man.
Um, there was, don't laugh at me. There was one day where my teachers got together and they were like, "Do you want to be in the special needs class?" I was like, no, they're like, why don't you try it out for recess? And I went, and it was like, it was like I sat in a room and like looked out the window while people were playing in recess. And I was like in there with like blocks. And I'm like, dude, I don't think this is for me.
Sorry.
No, dude, you can laugh. I was just joking about not laughing. It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh, man.
I was like, is this really for me? Like, why am I here? I think ultimately the answer is ADHD.
Yeah.
I took I took a test when I was a young kid. I think probably following that incident of like, do you have ADHD? And I was like, borderline. But like looking back, I'm like, you fucking dicks.
Yeah.
I could have been so much better of a person.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Well, I mean, just, I guess like I got my diagnosis, but it's not exactly helped me a ton. Other than like some days I have the medical tools to get shit done, but I
Totally.
like don't want to take it every day because I'm in my 30s and I'm overweight and it's not good for your cardiovascular system.
I've been taking it every day on weekdays. I have to.
No, I mean a lot of people do.
Yeah, I gotta figure that out.
Yeah.
I gotta like,
I mean I took it every day last week
yeah,
because I had worked all day every day. I was like there's no way I'm getting through this without it.
yeah. How do I couldn't. There was like one day where I was like, okay, it's Thursday. I'm gonna take a little break, and I did, and I was like, I didn't get jack fucking shit done. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a real struggle, ADHD.
Yeah, I mean, and I think I said this on maybe the last podcast, but I was like, how did I live before I had this medication? Like, how did I get stuff done? And the answer was I drank coffee all day and I smoked. I either vaped or smoked cigarettes all day. That's how I got shit done.
Yeah,
I just used a shittier,
stimulant.
worse combination of stimulants
Yeah.
to get things done.
Yeah, I didn't get shit done. I failed I didn't fail out of college, but like I failed a couple classes, and then basically didn't have the I just didn't bother figuring out financial aid, and then they were like, "You need to pay for this," and I go, "How?" And they go, "You got to do it." I go, okay, I guess I'm no more college for me, and then I stopped.
That's basically the exact same story for me in college. I did like 2 years and then I failed a bunch in one of my last semesters and my dad was like, okay, well I'm not gonna pay for you to fail. And I was like, that's reasonable. I understand. And he was like, well, are you gonna pay for it? And I was like, no, just won't go to college.
Yeah,
And it's like just to be clear, I don't hold that against him at all. That is like, why would you spend so much money for your kid to just fail classes at
totally.
college? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I imagine me and my dad had a similar call because I remember calling him being like, "Yeah, they say they need $12,000." He goes, "Well, figure it out." I go,
Yeah.
"How?" He goes, "You got to go to the office and figure it out." I go, "It's probably better I don't." Like, probably. I mean, maybe wasn't the right decision ultimately because I was getting a comp sci degree for $25,000 a year. So I did 1 year of that, and that's a lot of money for nothing, and then $100,000 of debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a dude. You want to talk about letting shit go too long? There was like years where I did not pay my student loan debt, and then my credit just went in the absolute toilet.
This is like not an uncommon story.
No, I know, and that's why I want to talk about it because I think there's probably people out there right now that maybe hear this and are like, I am this person who is just ignoring their debt and letting their credit score tank.
That's just about the only debt that you cannot, under any circumstances, ignore.
Correct.
You can ignore almost any other debt, by the way. I mean, you shouldn't, but you can, and then you can declare bankruptcy.
Yeah, you can't declare bankruptcy,
and it'll
It's
destroy your
with you
credit,
forever.
and all the other debt will go away, but not student loan debt.
It's with you forever.
Yeah.
But eventually, I don't remember the trigger, but it was probably dating Grace of like, I can't have a 400 credit score anymore. I need to do better. And so got on a payment plan, been in that same payment plan ever since. And man, I looked at my credit score a little while ago and it was like really high, like absurdly high. And I
That's
was like,
great.
I don't know, it could go this high. And so you can fix it.
Yeah.
It just takes some time. And the part that sucked the most was making those 4 or 5 calls to get the payments initiated.
Mhm.
And that was it.
Yeah.
It's like those 4 or 5 calls could have saved me like all of the grief in the world. All this like you have this looming worry of credit and bullshit.
It really is amazing that the thing you're describing of this putting things off for such a long time to the point where it is becoming a massive problem, and really all you needed to do was spend 30 minutes, couple hours at worst to deal with it,
Hmm.
and how long I put off those problems and just ignore them because I keep telling myself I'll do this tomorrow. I'll even make a calendar event,
Yeah.
and then the next day I get the calendar event. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh well, this it popped up for 2. I'll do it. I'll give myself 10 minutes and do it 2, and then 2 goes right by, and I just keep doing that.
Yeah.
I fucking why? So frustrating.
Yeah. If you're a person that saw that clip and it resonated with you, and you want to fix it, you have to get help.
Yeah.
And I'm not a professional saying that you have a mental illness. I'm just saying, regardless of what's causing that issue for you, if you want to fix it and you're someone who's sat there for months deliberating whether or not they should go get their registration renewed or pay their taxes, you have to get help to fix it.
Yeah.
You're going to tell yourself for years that you'll fix it, you'll get better, and you won't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm finding that out the hard way right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to fucking fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeking all the fucking help I can get. Don't don't let yourself fucking sit in that like I'll get to it, I'll be better, because man, this is something that you can get help with, and you're not alone in.
Right. Well, because the thing is, when you are sitting in it, like you said, and you're saying, I'll fix it, I'll get better. You won't until you begin to do the things that will make you better and will fix it.
Right.
And if you like, it's like a, I'm not a fucking psychiatrist, but it's like a thing where if you tell yourself I'm gonna do something tomorrow, as far as your brain and your reward system, the structure of your brain is like, oh, okay, we completed that task. We don't have to worry about it because you have said tomorrow it will be completed, so it's no longer something you have to worry about today.
Right.
And
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
and that process just keeps happening over and over and over and over. And like that's the loop that I get stuck in all the time.
Yeah. And
And
then when you get confronted about it, you're like, I was going to do it.
yeah, I had every intention to do it. Truly, it wasn't malicious.
Dude,
It's just I just can't figure it out. I can't figure out how to just do it.
this is something that, like, I don't know why it never occurred to me that someone could help me change the very way my brain functions around just doing adult tasks,
Mm-hmm.
or human tasks, but it is, and I need it.
Yeah.
Badly. It's a shitty thing to have to deal with, but I
Yeah.
think a lot of people kind of feel like that's just on them. But it's not.
Yeah, and it's not. There's a lot of people out there who can help.
Yeah. We're not one of them.
No, we'll just tell you about the problems.
We're not mental health professionals.
not.
We're talking about our own problems, and how shitty we are at dealing with them. Okay. Let's see here, Hudson. I have a topic that I meant to. I'm going to write it down on my to-do list for next week.
Oh, this is the thing you forgot about, which is good because I also forgot what my answer was.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about a new job.
Yeah.
I kind of already talked about it because I don't want to talk about specifically what it is yet.
Yeah.
But it's social media marketing. They didn't have someone doing this before, so I'm coming in and basically defining what their marketing plan is, and it's really challenging. Starting from zero, like, how do we even get a picture to post? How do we
Yeah.
make 5 posts a week if we don't have one thing to post? So starting from there, making progress. Deadlines are moving a lot quicker than I might expect, but I'm doing it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine how difficult that is to go into a job without the scaffolding of like how that shit gets done. You have to build all that shit yourself.
Yes.
Incredibly difficult.
Yeah, it's really challenging, and it is like It's a startup, so it's a very small company, which is cool. I've been working at a big corporation with thousands and thousands of people for so long that I forgot how fast a small company can move.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I came in, the CEO was like, "Hey, are you going to have the relaunch plan done next week?" And I was like, "Oh, is that kind of job?" I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I did, which is it's amazing because we function better under pressure.
Oh, 100%.
So it's like this task that I probably could have spread out over a month, did it in a few days.
Mhm.
It's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's really challenging, but in a way, that challenge is like teaching me that I can do a lot.
That's great, man.
Yeah, which is good. Um, Talked about weight loss. I'm
Mhm.
down since March. I'm down 30 pounds, but since what is it? I can tell you the first date, the 27th of August. It is now the 20th of um, September. I'm down like I could have done the math there, 17 pounds or something. That's pretty good. And I know, numbers really don't matter. It's just the trend that matters, and I'm trending in the right direction. 17 pounds for a guy my size is like a not a big deal, and not you don't focus on numbers there. It's just like being consistent at the gym, consistent on my diet,
Right.
and feeling good about that. Waking up every morning early, getting shit done. I feel really good about that.
That's good, man.
Yeah. I got a text from my mom the other day, and I'm gonna read it. Adam, heart, it's the Jewish New Year's. I thought I'll hear from you. I guess you're too busy. I totally understand. Hope you enjoy your weekend. I was like I hadn't talked to her in like 2 weeks. And I said, Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't keep track of Jewish holidays because I don't practice Judaism.
Mhm.
But I love you, and Happy New Year's. I hope you're well." And she goes, "Whatever makes you happy, Adam. Love you back, heart." What the fuck, bro?
Oh,
There's
man.
like this like stereotype I hear thrown all around a lot of like Jewish guilt, and I'm not saying it's that, but my mom is Jewish, and she's really good at making me feel guilty. And I was raised Jewish. I just don't. It's not. I don't practice religion.
Yeah, I think that's I think that is I think that's just a mom thing. I think moms have that ability.
About the smallest shit.
Yeah. My mom does that, and she knows she's doing it. And when any of us children are like call her on that bullshit, she just giggles. She thinks it's so funny. I'm like, come on, mom.
Yeah, my mom not going to giggle when she hears this. I'm gonna get a real angry text. Yeah, she does watch the podcast or listen to it at least. Yeah.
How does she feel about how you do her voice?
I think she likes it. Yeah, yeah. I did a couple before we did this podcast. Did a couple TikToks reading messages in her voice, and I thought those were pretty funny.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, mom, what about you? What do you got?
Let's see. Okay, so I'll tell you the circumstances surrounding this question after you answer the question.
Okay.
Now, when you go to put on your socks and shoes,
Mhm.
do you put on
I know what you're going to ask me.
do
This is
you
the
put on
dumbest shit I've ever heard.
sock shoe, or do you put on sock shoe shoe?
Who the fuck does number two?
Right.
Who the fuck does that?
Right.
I
Exactly.
might even put my socks on a few minutes ahead of my shoes.
Exactly. Everybody, every reasoning, functioning, well, I shouldn't say functioning because I'm not a good example of a functioning adult, but every person who is not insane would put their socks on first before they put their shoes on. Nobody's
One
putting
sock
one
after
sock
another.
and a shoe on.
We're not even talking which side. We're saying one sock, another sock, and then you put on your shoes.
Correct.
Doesn't matter what order the shoes go in
Correct.
or the socks go in. It's just that socks come first.
Correct.
That is ridiculous.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Who
Okay,
does
so
this?
well, it's nobody I know personally, but one day, well, this was last week. I was at the office, and Dante was getting a little. He like brought this story up, and I could tell it kind of pissed him off because he was talking to his friends, and apparently all of his friends do sock shoe.
I think they're fucking with him. They have to be.
I mean, maybe.
Who does that?
I don't know.
What's the first piece of clothing you put on when you get dressed?
Like, I'm just out of the shower.
You're naked. What do
Oh,
you
I
put
put
on?
my boxers on.
Correct. It's like if you put on a shirt first and then you go looking for boxers.
No, nobody does that.
But I'm saying this
Oh
is
yeah,
akin
I
to
see what
that.
you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, or like somebody who puts their socks on directly after a shower, like fucking crazy people.
Wet feet. They gotta be completely dry.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was crazy, and we just need to clip this and send this to Dante, so he'll feel vilified.
Vilified? No.
Is vilified the right word?
Vilified means he's the villain. I know the word you're thinking of, but it's escaped me now. Vindicated.
Yeah, you're correct. Vindicated. Wow, I don't know why I just like brain farted those two words.
They're both these words. Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. That reminds me. I mean, that is like this other thing I'm thinking of what order do you brush your teeth and floss in? I think it's obvious in my head which one is right.
Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously, you floss first.
Right, because you get the loose stuff, and then you've got to brush and spit it out.
Right. Wait, did we talk about this?
No.
Who fucking flosses after brushing their teeth?
I'm just thinking of doing things in the wrong order.
Okay, yeah, just an example of
do you wipe and then poop?
Oh shit.
So stupid.
Okay. Here's another question for you.
Uh-huh.
What do you wear when you sleep? Or do you sleep naked?
I'm a naked sleeper, bro.
Okay.
But
I mean, I'm not, but I don't have any issues with that.
there are situations where you have to be clothed. Like if you're at someone else's house,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll sleep naked. If I can close the door and lock it, naked. Don't care. I mean, they're already gonna wash the sheets. What does it fucking matter?
Right.
But if you can't lock the door, if you're on a couch, whatever, you got to sleep with some clothes on. Gym shorts, not boxers, and no t-shirt. I cannot sleep in a t-shirt.
I can't either.
If I turn around, it'll get all bunched up and I feel like I'm choking.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing happens with boxers and my junk. It gets choked if I turn around. So loose gym shorts, no shirt.
I have like loose boxers that I wear for sleeping.
Okay.
Because I don't know why I just never got into sleeping without any clothes on. But I wanted to ask because this was a conversation that me and Leslie had. She wears pants, like sweatpants, but pants.
I'm just imagining jeans in bed.
and a t-shirt to sleep in.
But these are specifically clothes that she reserves for sleeping?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, they're also kind of like lay around night clothes, but they're basically the same thing. Now,
Okay, go on.
what the term she used, I may have to cut this if she doesn't like it, but the term she used, because she has these really baggy pants that she wears just specifically to sleep in.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do you, because she took off like these like tighter sweatpants. And I asked her, I was like, wait, why do you change pants to go to sleep? She says, well, these if I wear the tight pants, I'll get hot butt.
Okay.
You okay? Like you're familiar with hot butt?
I mean, I've had swamp ass before, sure.
Yeah, no, this is
Not
just warm.
sleeping.
This is just hot butt.
Am I going to knock Leslie's decision to wear a specific kind of pants to bed when I myself have preferences because of things like temperature?
Well, but
no.
But I mean, like, this isn't the fucking Arabian desert, right? Where you like wear clothes to have like breathability. You could just take the pants off, and then you wouldn't have any hot butt issues.
Yeah, but she get cold.
But then she
She
gets
gets cold.
cold.
Right. Grace wears
But
pajamas.
what I told her is that if you take the clothes, because this is true, like if you take the clothes off and you get under blankets, you'll get warmer faster because your body heat will just be radiating inside the blanket. Whereas if you have clothes on, it gets trapped inside the clothes, and like it's not, you won't build up as much heat as quickly with clothes on.
I don't think that's true.
I think that's true.
If you take
Okay.
a warm object and you encapsulate it in a light fabric, and then you put that light fabric under a heavy fabric, but it's all encapsulated all the same.
Uh-huh.
There is no more heat exchange, heat escape than there would be.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's the speed at which the temperature equalizes under the blanket. Okay, so she goes to bed with clothes on because she's and like under a bunch of blankets because she's cold. But then she has to wake up in like an hour to take one of those blankets off because she gets too hot.
Oh,
But if you go to bed without clothes on, the total internal temperature inside underneath the blanket will build up, will like rise to body temperature quicker
okay.
than with clothes on.
That makes sense. Maybe. I don't know.
I think that's true. That's why if
I think at the very least it's equal to, or it's easier to equalize your, or to regulate your temperature
Yeah.
without clothes on.
yeah.
I stick my ass out, dude. I stick my feet out when I'm hot.
Okay. Stick your ass out of the blanket?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you are familiar with hot butt.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I guess my butt needs to go out of there to get cooled down. Just raw ass sticking in there.
I don't know why the phrase hot butt just really tickles me. I just
But I mean, Grace wears pajamas.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, a lot of ladies have cooler body temperatures than us.
That's true.
We also have like way more insulation. So maybe if we were in better shape, me specifically, I would
Yeah.
be colder. But you know what? I was in good shape one time. I was still hot all the time.
I've always ran hot.
Yeah.
Me and Leslie have this running joke. We've had this for like years, where she'll think something and I'll think something, and we'll just be like jokingly disagreeing about it. And she'll say, "Go ask any 10 people, and they'll agree with me." And I'd be like, "Well, I'm not gonna like. First of all, I only know like 5 people. I'm not gonna, text my mom about
Now
this."
you have a platform.
And I was like, "Well, now I can bring these questions to the podcast. There are at least 10 people who watch our podcast.
I think so. I think that 10 people will agree with Leslie.
They might. I mean, I'm learning through
Seriously.
this process of making the podcast that my opinions are often so out of touch with the average person.
So just to clarify Leslie's position on sleeping, she specifically wears more baggy sweatpants to bed, and then if she gets hot, she takes them off.
No. Okay. She wears baggy sweatpants, shirt, 2 blankets.
Oh,
When she gets hot, she takes one of the 2 blankets off.
do you guys share a blanket?
No, we have because I can't sleep with blankets on. I sleep with like a very thin sheet on.
That's so crazy.
I get too hot.
I mean, I do too, but I sleep with a down comforter, but then it has a duvet cover on, and it's a linen duvet cover, so it's very cool to the touch, but it like keeps a lot of heat in. But then when I stick my ass out, it sort of evens it all out.
I will either sleep with nothing, like no covering if I'm too hot, or just like a really thin sheet over.
But you're a 3-pillow sleeper?
Yeah. Well, I need because I have like 2 pillows for my head.
Oh,
I could probably just do one if
Yeah.
I bought a thicker pillow, but I have 2 thinner pillows, and then I have one pillow that I use for my arm pillow.
yeah.
Oh, and one pillow for my. So I have 4 pillows.
Yeah, okay, so you're 4-pillow. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a 3-pillow because I have the 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
but I don't have the 4th one under my head. But yeah, pillows can get hot. But I got cooling pillowcases. This is such a boring conversation. I got cooling pillowcases.
It's not to me because can you send me those cooling pillowcases?
Yeah.
Because I really need those.
Yeah, my pillows
It's,
are not hot.
I'm always so hot. I mean, and like you said, it's probably because I'm fucking fat. but
Yeah, stick the ass. I cannot believe you sleep with a sheet. That is like the worst sleep in my mind. Sleep with a sheet.
really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, for one, when I would sleep with a sheet, it also comes with a blanket, and I can never maintain them together. So it's like it's always the sheet gets bunched up somewhere and it's under me, and that's uncomfortable. Or the blanket goes away. I already have to deal with my knee pillow runs away from me at night, and I gotta wake up and find it.
What happens
I move a
while you're
lot.
sleeping?
I move a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have to turn like every 15 minutes, maybe from side to side.
That that seems like too much.
Maybe a little bit, maybe 30 minutes.
That still seems like too much. That's crazy.
I mean, I'm big.
Have you ever filmed yourself at night?
No, I've recorded the snoring, and it just picks up all the farts. it's, I fucking love
How
it.
fun for Grace.
It's so fun. Thankfully, Grace she doesn't really wake up to my farts anymore. I mean, but sometimes when she's like waking up, and I happen to fart, that will be like a cue to be like, God damn it,
Yeah.
fart man, stinky fart guy. But yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, maybe that was all a boring conversation. We can cut that.
No, don't cut it. Don't cut it. Don't cut it. Yeah, and I sleep lately. I've been sleeping with the earplugs in. It's the best sleep.
Man, I wish I could do that.
Why can't? Because you're nervous about people,
I have tinnitus.
right? And you can't live with your own beep.
Yeah, if I put earplugs on, that's all I can hear. It's just like beep.
Fuck,
Sucks.
that sucks, dude.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if that's something that could even be fixed.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think you're stuck.
Yeah, and I think it gets worse, like progressively worse.
Yeah, bummer, bro.
So it's like in like 30 years, I probably won't be able to sleep at all because I'll just have constant tinnitus. That'll suck.
Yeah.
But anyway, good for now. Just no earplugs. Okay, here's my last question.
Hmm?
What's the thing you did when you were young that now, when you think about it, you want to die? Like you are so embarrassed over.
I have two.
Okay.
One of them is less like I'm so embarrassed, but it's the first time I remember feeling true embarrassment was I was at a playground. I was a little kid. I was maybe like 6 or 7. And I was just like, I saw a slide and I'm like, I'm going to climb up the slide. I start to climb up the slide. It's one of those enclosed slides. And then down comes this fucking lady with her kid, and they fucking take me down with them. And I get down to the bottom, and then there's just this lady with her like younger kid, and she's just screaming at me. Like, what are you doing? How could you go up the slide like that? You could have hurt my daughter. And like, I'm 6, and I'm just getting berated by this like 40-year-old lady. And I was like, this sucks. I was super embarrassed. I cried.
Man,
Yeah.
what an asshole that lady was.
Never climbed up another slide though. That's for sure.
You know, that reminded me of a similar story
Yeah, go on.
when I was a kid that I am embarrassed about. This is it's not quite to the level of what I was asking, but I feel really bad for my dad because I was probably like, this is one of those moments I think about that I'm like, holy shit, he must have wanted to kill me. Because I was being, so we went to like a fair, I guess. I don't even remember where we were coming from. I assume it was a fair because I had like painted my face. I was very young. I don't remember how young. And then we were going to the school I went to for the varsity basketball game that was happening that night. And as we walked through there's like the entrance doors and then the doors ahead to go to the gym. And right as we were about to walk through those doors, I suddenly freaked out. I was like, I can't go in there because I didn't want people to see my painted face. I thought it looked too dumb. And I started crying.
What was your painted face?
I don't remember. I really don't. It was probably like a tiger, just whatever. Tiger
My
or
first thought was
something.
tiger, so it must be a tiger.
Yeah, probably. That's like the easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And my dad was trying really hard to reason with me. He was like, no, I promise you nobody cares. I promise you nobody cares. And I was like, no, I can't go in there. And I don't even remember. This story was so long ago, I don't remember the outcome. I guess I must have finally gone in, but I know this went on for a really long time of me crying, not wanting to go to the gym, and I just think about less. I mean, I feel a little embarrassed. But mostly, I just feel bad for my dad because that was probably like he was probably just like, I just want to go in there and watch this fucking game. My son, shut the fuck
Why
up.
wouldn't you just take you to the bathroom and wash your face off?
I don't know. Maybe that's what he did.
Yeah,
It was so
probably.
long ago, I don't
Yeah.
remember. But anyway,
That's so
but
fucking
that
funny.
your story just triggered that memory.
You triggered a memory for me too.
Okay.
This is a weird story. So to establish, it was like happened when I was 3 or 4, and at some point, I barely remember it, but at some point, we were introduced to the neighbors while we were walking by their house. Said hello, whatever. Months, weeks, whatever later, my dad and I and my sister are driving home, and we get out of the car, and we go inside the house, and my dad goes, "Oh no, I lost my keys. We can't get inside the house." And for me, that was a cue to panic. And I said, "Oh no!" And I just started running, and
What?
and I ran like 3 blocks over and burst into the neighbors that we had met one time, casually's house. And they were all standing there in their living room, and they look at me like, "What are you doing?" And then my dad runs over. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And he like pulls me out of it. Now, here's the thing. I brought this up to my dad. Doesn't remember it. This is potentially just a dream I had, and I'm remembering it as a memory. But I've remembered it since I was a little kid because it was so embarrassing. But the memory is hazy, and it very well could have been a well-crafted dream on my 3-year-old self's part.
You know, that's interesting. I should bring up the face painting story to my dad because I don't think I've ever discussed that with him. Ever.
Yeah,
It's just a very clear memory I have. And now I'm wondering, could that have been just a dream that over time became a memory of a real
totally.
thing? That's interesting.
Yeah, memory is so fallible, and
Yeah.
I still question if my dad just doesn't remember. But thinking about how ridiculous it is, I very well could have just dreamt it.
Yeah.
But it seems like something my dad would do.
Yeah. But also like your kids are always doing like kids do so much stupid shit all the time that how could you remember
So much
everything?
stupid shit. Yeah, yeah. My other really cringy memory was, um, I think it might have been like I went to Cub Scouts, which was a very short lived thing, by the way. And the scout leader and um, was doing impressions, and then they were going around like his son did an impression. Then they got to me, they're like, "Do you do impressions?" I go, or his son did like a Bugs Bunny impression. And he comes around to me and he's like, "Do you do impressions?" I go, "Yeah, I do them." He's like, "Okay, go ahead." And then I just did the same Bugs Bunny impression that his son did, but really badly. And everyone just went, "All right." And I knew, I was like, "Oh no."
Oh man.
Face got so fucking red. Oh, dude.
So bad.
It's spawning so many more memories. Do you remember in elementary school when they would have, in my school, they would have a kid every day go and read the Pledge of Allegiance over the PA system to the whole school?
Hmm. Go on.
It was my turn one day. And I went up and I said, "I pledge of allegiance to," and I like made some joke, and they go, "Stop it!" And I go, "I don't know what to do," and I ran. I couldn't remember the words. I got stage fright.
Man. It's weird when I'm like when I picture this happening in my head, I see like a kid with a full beard because I've never seen you without a beard.
Yeah, that's what I look like.
Oh
What
man.
was yours, Hudson? What was your cringe memory? I gotta know.
So I really spent a long time thinking about if I was going to ask this question because I knew I would have to answer it
Mhm.
with this story. And I still, even as I'm saying this right now, I'm still don't want to say this. I don't want to tell this story.
I want to know it.
I'm going to say it. I was in middle school, I think, maybe early high school, maybe middle school.
It's a very formative age.
Very formative age. You might remember a little band called Nickelback.
Yep, I
Okay.
do. Really solid music.
Yeah.
Good overall, great shows.
I don't remember who. Some older person in my life said this. I think it wasn't one of my older sisters. And when and I'm pretty sure this is middle school. Like when you're younger, and even like early on in high school, and people still do this, but like you hear something like a concept that sounds good to you, and you parrot that concept.
Yeah,
Like people repeat things that they hear. That's just
yeah.
what happens. That's people. So somebody said something that I really latched onto, and it was something to the effect of um, Nickelback had come up, and somebody had said something like, where did this band even come from? And then I think it was my older sister who was really into music, who like knew a bunch of the stuff. Was like, what do you mean? Like they've been around forever. Like why do you? This isn't like a new band. They just this is just like their most recent success or whatever. And I just grabbed onto that idea just like real
that
tightly.
Nickelback is not a new band, and this is their most recent. This is just their most recent
Yeah,
success.
yeah. And and the first opportunity I had to repeat this to my friends, to my peer group, I did. Um, but what I said was, yeah, people are just like, have you ever heard of this new band Nickelback? And I guess the way I said it was so cringy that group of friends never let that die. Ever. Like, and it was a cringy thing to say.
But I can't understand what's cringy right now.
Because I was pretending to know more than I knew about a band.
And it was just so evident to them.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it was clear. And I just wanted to sound cool, like I knew what I was talking about. And that group of people, those friends, like that was a running joke that they brought up to this day. When I reconnected with them in this Discord, that was the first thing one of them said.
No.
And I was like,
This is a mistake. Leave Discord server.
I don't engage with that Discord server anymore. But man, every time I think about that, I'm just like, oh my god, I want to die, dude. I'm just thinking about how cringy that was.
Yeah. I mean, we've all done this. Mine was more just like young kid, but I've definitely had social embarrassment where I pretended to know more than I did, and I was caught in that. And I don't remember them, but those definitely existed. But you learn from those moments because then you're like, I don't want to be the person that pretends to know about something, and I'm going to be very honest.
Yeah.
About my level of knowledge about any given subject.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to I wanted so badly to be cool. And that moment taught me that like that is not something you can fake. You have to earn being cool.
You have to earn being cool. You just have to know. You have to earn your music knowledge, like your sister had.
Well, I mean, being cool is I don't know. I mean, I could be talking on my ass, but I think when somebody thinks of somebody who is cool, it's somebody who is you know confident in what they're saying, and confident in their ability to talk about a subject or do an activity or whatever, but not like being like braggadocious about it. Like they're just they're very like, oh yeah, I can do this.
I think it's.
And I was like grandstanding about knowledge that I obviously didn't have.
I think it's. I think your sister would find it very flattering that you think she's cool, or you definitely thought she was cool at least for a while.
Oh, I think both my sisters are cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You looked up to her. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I should tell her that.
You should.
Good point.
Yeah.
If she even said it, I don't know. Again, like my memory is so bad.
Who's Nickelback? Oh, I got one more thing. It's a side topic. I started reading a book based off a friend's recommendation called "He Who Fights Monsters," and I did not know this. It's a whole subgenre of book called LitRPG. You ever heard of this?
You never heard of LitRPG?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you just don't know about it. Hi. Did you know about LitRPG? Obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe you can tell me. So the one, you gotta
No,
stop him. He's gonna knock it over.
no, no, no.
The
Don't do
the
that.
the one he's in a mood. The one the one I'm reading is an isekai, which is where you're transported to another universe, Solaire or world, I should say, another dimension, world, land.
Hmm.
And then it's just like he's playing a game through himself, like as if it were Ready Player One or something, but he's just locked into this universe. Are all of the lit RPGs like that, where it's like you're transported, or is it, can they be framed differently?
No, they're not all like that.
Okay,
I don't really like most lit RPG books because I feel like they substitute a lot of what makes a good story for. Um,
you don't have to explain why something is the way it
yeah,
is. It's just a video
here's
game.
like a yeah here's video game shit. And the other big problem because and I feel like we both will run into this because I only listen to books. A lot of times there will be sections in lit RPGs with stat pages,
Oh, and it's just reading
and
up all the
listening to
stats.
somebody read through stats is about as mind numbing as it sounds.
That's probably what's happening in this book a little bit, where it's like inventory. You can loot goblin. Press A or confirm, deny. It's like that's constant in this book.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So far, it hasn't been so egregious. It's pretty bad, but so far it's just like it's kind of just like fantasy popcorn. There's not much to it. It's
That's a
not
really good way to describe lit RPG.
yeah, just easy to digest.
And there are some that I've come across that I'm like, this is entertaining.
Yeah, the one I hear about, or when I was looking this one up to see if it was any good, I saw people recommending Dungeon Crawler Carl, which I have not read. But
There was one I read that I thought was good. That just maybe the name made me think of it, and I don't know if it's the same one, but it is from the perspective of a person who becomes a dungeon, and like they're like trying to like level up as a dungeon, and people are like coming through them to collect loot,
damn,
and like how they're learning to like function as a dungeon, which I
that's
thought was
fun.
kind of
Yeah,
interesting. That was like a cool twist on this genre. Um, but yeah, for the most part, it's like just whatever fantasy popcorn.
but it's interesting. There's a genre I did not know about that is
Yeah.
somewhat relevant to my. I love video games. I love the first season of Ready Player One. I love,
Hmm.
or sorry, not Ready Player One. Sword Art Online. I liked Ready Player One a little bit, the book, but I don't know. It was kind of fucked up, kind of bad. But conceptually, fun. It's
Yeah.
relevant to us. We like MMOs. We like this kind of game. So, in a lot of ways, this is interesting if it's done well. So
Yeah. I think what turns me off is that a lot of the times, like I get drawn into books by either their premise and like world building or characters. And a lot of times lit RPG is lacking both of those. Like
yeah,
the world building is so paint by numbers because it's you're just making an RPG
you
in a
just
book.
you're coming up with a video game.
And the characters are almost always just some fucking Mary Sue who like is not an interesting character because it's an RPG. Everything has to work out for them.
Yeah,
Um, and that just like turns my interest off. But there are some like that one that dungeon one was pretty interesting because it was cool like seeing that
it's an
perspective.
interesting concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But we should probably bring up the fact that we neglected to do a book club for
A Bug's Life.
Empire and Black and Gold, and I'll be honest. At this point, I forget most of that book. It's been over a month since we both finished it.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty disappointed by it to be honest. And this is from this author has written like what is in my opinion some of, like the best sci-fi books ever. A trilogy, just a series. It's so good. And when I was reading the last one in this Children of Earth series, I was driving and the end of that third book made my eyes like well up with tears. I had to pull over because I was tearing up, like about to cry. It was so like powerful and moving to me.
Wow.
And I saw none of that in this book. I mean, it was an interesting concept, but
There's
everything else is kind of boring.
yeah. from what I read on after it. So one of my biggest problems was like he establishes that there are all these races of insect people. Basically, they are somehow related to the bugs of their name. But he never goes into like enough descriptive detail for me to get a solid picture of what any of these full creatures actually looks like. He just
Yeah.
says, "Oh, he has spiky arms or he has wings," and never really goes into enough for me to establish that. And then like never really establishes the rules or stuff about their race like in enough detail that I really appreciated it.
Hmm.
And apparently, the later books go into more detail on a lot of the interesting races.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna read them.
Yeah, me neither.
I was pretty bored.
Me too. Which bummed me out. So, sorry, that's our book club for Empire in
Such
Black
a
and
fucking
Gold.
bummer. We let you down. Whoever listened to that book, sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
But if you did listen to it and you have a dissenting opinion, I would really love to engage with you on it. And you should join our Discord and talk to us about it in our discussion channel.
Yep.
Because seriously, if there's somebody out there who's like, I love this book, and a lot of people do, the book was really well rated and was very popular. I just I don't understand what drew people into it, and I would like to know.
yeah,
Maybe reading it would have been a different experience.
maybe so. Um, I don't know if we should do another book club.
Maybe we should do book clubs for books we're excited about.
Okay, I have a book club that I just read a book, but the thing is that I don't know if you'll be excited for the same books I am. But I just read a book that I really liked. Just finished it like 2 days ago, yesterday actually. Um, and it's set in Puritan Connecticut. I don't know if you hate the idea of that setting. It reminds me of The Witch, um,
Okay.
but it is
Puritan, Connecticut. My brain is already like shutting down.
yeah,
But
which I get. But the book is immediately more supernatural than
okay.
just Puritan Connecticut. But if you're not interested, let's just skip it.
Um, let's talk about it at some point. Like I the next Andy Ware book that comes out, 100% we should do a book club on that.
Yeah,
Like I think there are some books that and authors when they release books that I think would be fun to do book club sporadically. I think doing it every month is going to be tough because we're going to have a lot of situations like this where we're just like running into books that we like one or both of us just is not enjoying.
yeah.
And that's hard for me to finish books that I'm not into. I don't know if it's the same for you. But
It is. I think we have a topic or two from the Discord to talk about. So we have a
yeah.
Discord, like Hudson said. If you'd like to join us and chit chat, do that. We have a gentleman who hosts movie night. I think every other Friday. He said at 10 p.m. Eastern. And I didn't join last time, but I would like to join. I joined the first time. I just
I need to sit in one night. I never am in the position to.
like last Friday, like both came down with feeling like shit. So
Yeah, I mean last Friday I went out and got shit faced with my coworkers because we finished that
oh right.
work project. So that's where I was.
Okay, so we talked about karaoke last time. Someone asked a question. Mr. Danny Picard asked a question. What is your PC setup? Spec, mouse, keyboard, mouse, pad, microphone, headset, headphone. What's your favorite controller to use? I'll be honest. This is not an exciting answer for me. So I don't. I just have like hand-me-down parts and a 3080.
The only exciting part that I have in my computer is a Ryzen 9 5900X, which is a very expensive
Yeah.
CPU. Yeah. When I rebuilt my computer last time, I went pretty overboard. But
What's your GPU?
it's like a 30 series. It's not, or maybe even a 20 series. I can't remember. It's not anything special. But that will be an upgrade for later.
I'm the kind of person who like either upgrades a CPU or a GPU and then not the other thing. So I'm like always lagging behind in an area.
Yeah.
It's hard to do both at once. Okay. He also said, "What's your desk cleanliness / hygiene routine?" I don't really have one. I try to clean out my mouse pad in the fucking bathtub by like soaking it in water and letting the gross stuff come out. But cleaning a black mouse pad is fucking impossible. Just buy a new one occasionally.
Hmm. I have a full desk one,
Yeah.
and I just wash it in the washing machine.
The washing machine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never had any issues. I don't know if maybe are you not supposed to?
I don't know. I looked at videos on how to clean your mouse pad, and that's what it said. Like soak it in hot water and then scrape it down and
Hmm.
wash it out that way. But I'll try this fucking washing machine. Why not?
Maybe I should look that up. I just brainlessly threw it in there with some towels, and now I'm wondering if maybe that was a mistake.
Probably not. It's probably cleaner than mine.
Yeah.
Then Blue Note Stan says, "Settled debate from my office. What is your criteria for visiting a state or country? Does driving through without stopping count? What about airports? Zooming in on airports specifically, if they normally don't count for you because you never really leave the building, does it count if you go outside and breathe the air of a state or country?" I'm pretty clear on that, on what I define as visiting. If you are just in a layover and you don't go out of the airport, that doesn't count. That's
Oh,
obvious.
100%.
Um, if you are driving through, depending on the length of drive through, like sometimes you stay overnight in a place and you might stop at a historic landmark, maybe the one landmark that makes that state interesting. Um, yeah, you could say you visited it on your way through.
Yeah, I think if you do a thing in a state, like even if you're driving through, but you go to see an attraction or something, not just stopping at a gas station, then you can say I visited that state.
Yeah.
That seems pretty obvious. What I'm more curious about is who's taking the fucking other side of this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Blue Note stand. Who are your coworkers who are like, if you land in Chicago and then leave Chicago in an hour, you are legally allowed to say that you visited Chicago?
Have you had any? What are your layovers? Tell me all your fun layovers. Then you can tell, and then I'll just count those as places you visited. All right. Well,
All right.
thanks.
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 Bye,
Video
everybody.
game podcast in the description.